Righto, so I'm Sam Mason and I'm the Head of Data Science at Bulletproof. Now whenever I talk about analytics and R, I tend to run off at the mouth, so I'm really going to try and keep this under 5 minutes. So, everyone's heard about the problems that we've got today with data, the 3 V's of velocity, variety and veracity. It's coming in faster than ever before in history. And now with IoT, we're going to have 1 million devices coming on every hour by 2020. So in order for your companies to grow and to remain competitive, you need to be able to analyse that data, and humans can't do it. And computers are our slaves, and what we do is we use machine learning for that. So why don't we review some of the use cases. These are common ones here. So you might look at customer segmentation. You might cluster your transaction records. You do sentiment analysis. You might text mine your social media presence. Anomaly detection. If you're looking at analyse your traffic patterns. You've got predictive maintenance, which Michael already mentioned Rolls-Royce is doing. In the marketing space, you might look at product diffusion models. You've got social networks, diffusion analysis, web traffic, click streams. There's still more. This is the most common one that's used. So trying to predict default rates on loans, credit card fraud, predict your next best offer at the point of sale systems, intelligent inventory management. You might look at all your customer records and overlay ABS population distribution data, get a geospatial analysis, and of course recommendation systems. So machine learning is getting used everywhere all the time now. But there's a problem. So data scientists, we spend pretty much most of our time in data discovery, in acquisition, in cleaning, transformation, preparation, building models, experimenting, and this just goes on and on. That's generally, they say about 80% of our time is spent doing that. The other problem we have is that the tools that we use, so Python, Scala, R, they don't play well with each other. And the other main problem is that once we've done that work, traditionally it's very hard to push that out to production and actually use it. So the common case is you have the statisticians built this awesome model running on a laptop, saving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. How do you put that into your enterprise workflow? So today's solution, Microsoft's got, sorry, I'm in your way. Microsoft's got a 2-pronged approach here, right? So they've taken Microsoft R Services and they've got Azure ML. So I'll go into a bit of both of those. For those who don't know, R is the de facto statistical modelling language. It's, well, for better or for worse, it was invented by statisticians for statisticians, but not bagging statisticians. I love them. But they're not computer scientists, not software engineers, right? And it wasn't designed for that. Okay, so it's, like I said, it's been very hard to integrate into enterprise workflows, and it doesn't scale very well either, at least traditionally. So, Microsoft and R. Microsoft R Services is comprised of R Server, R Client, and R Open, which Michael already mentioned. It's fully integrated into Visual Studio, so it's straight out of the box. You can ingest data from all your standard data sources. What R Server does is it brings for the first time large-scale distributed computation for enterprise workloads to R. That's seriously the take-home message here. You could also use R Client if your team is already using the standard ones, R Studio, R Commander, R GUI. You can use that with R Client and integrate that straight in as well. And Michael also mentioned this too. We've got R Services, which are part of the SQL Server 2016 database, which means you can push your workload up to your SQL Server cluster and leverage that power that you're already paying for. It's also integrated into the Hadoop cluster, that's R Server. And on this side of the fence, this is where they've solved, so they've already solved the scale problem here. Now they're solving the production problem with deploy R as well. So once you've done your predictive model, push it straight out. So, switch over now. Azure Machine Learning. So, Michael just touched on this briefly. It's an online machine learning workbench. It's precisely optimized for fast cycling of your experiments. So the idea is that you can, I've already said that, haven't I? Yeah. That you can, and then once you've done your model, you can push it really easily out to production as well. And it runs in a batch mode and it runs in a request response mode. What's really nice about Azure ML is that once you've actually pushed out your web service, just without even doing anything, it already generates you client consumer code in C#, R, and Python with API keys and everything there. And you just integrate that into your app and away you go. You have a production predictive model. And more importantly, it allows your data scientists to focus on results. So, out of the box, Azure ML, you get your standard machine learning algorithms and tools, so regression, classification, clustering, anomaly detection. Ingest from standard data sources, all the Azure Services, Blob, third-party ones. Really good point there is you can also ingest from Hive straight into Azure ML as well. So you've already got that investment, you can leverage that straight away and pull that straight in. And if it's something that you have isn't supported here, you can also do a generic web endpoint. So anything you can expose over a web point, you can use straight in Azure ML straight away. And finally, yes, the data preparation, aggregation, all the stuff that we spend all our time doing. So standard technology support. This is really great. So if there's something in Azure ML that you want to do that isn't there, or you've already got your R models or your Python models, you literally can just plug them straight in, right? Into the middle of, and get all the benefits of Azure ML as well. It's got Anaconda, it's got 500 plus R packages. Right, so that's pretty much it for Azure ML. I mean, it really is that easy to just get going, right? There's heaps of tutorials online. It's scriptable with PowerShell. It's fully integrated into the Azure ecosystem. And I guess the other take-home point is it is designed for fail fast at minimal cost, because that's where a lot of money gets sunk in the data science sort of workflow. So, yeah, Bulletproof. Look, we are really excited about this. We haven't seen anything like this in the market before. I've only touched on the first two of this whole play, and Michael already mentioned Data Factory and Data Lake. So if you've got any more questions, please come and talk to us, because I'll talk about it as long as you like. So I'm happy. All right, thanks very much.